Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kada Mahyam Dadadi Swapadamrikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuddha Patakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhrascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, last time we have finished chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. So, actually we have to start chapter 3, but I thought we should just discuss about Sri Ramanuja Charya once, because recently, for whole of February, the statue of Sri Ramanuja was inaugurated at Hyderabad. And many of us have visited, and many of us are planning to visit. Till then, all of us know that there is a Charya by name Sri Ramanuja Charya, but none of us know how great he is. So when such a great man's statue is installed in Hyderabad, at least this is the time we should know that what he is, what he has done. Because only by knowing about, in our school books, they normally tell us about the great people. Why do they tell us about the great people? Because when we learn about them, we get inspired and then we do great things. Similarly, even about these religious great people also, we should know what is the difficulties they have faced in establishing the religion. And also in Hinduism, there are a lot of misconceptions or misunderstandings or wrong allegations on Hinduism, saying that we have caste system and we ill-treat people, and we treat, even within Hindus, we have different treatment for different caste and all these things. The moment we learn Bhagavad Gita, we know that the caste system is not based on the birth or not based on our parents, but it is based on our character. So, but this is not known to many people, and also a lot of people who wants to exploit whatever Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita. They give their own interpretations the way they like, and then convert it to their advantage. That is the reason we always ask everybody to read Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srila Prabhupada, because he has given the correct interpretation, not wrong interpretation, and he doesn't have any self-motives. His only motive is to establish Krishna in everybody's heart. That is his only interest. So there is no requirement for him to give wrong interpretation. So now we'll discuss about Srila Ramanujacharya. And these days we are seeing very horrifying things happening all around. Like in Vizag, I think, somewhere in that coastal area, one Sri Rama's idol, the head was removed at Ramatirtham and it was thrown. Then the first doubt what we get is, we pray to God, thinking that he will protect us. See, here, he is not protecting, he is not able to protect himself only. Then how can he protect us? So this is the basic question everybody gets. But most of us can answer this question saying that it is the karma, what we are doing now. Because of the previous lives karma, we are doing wrong things. Because of the previous lives, we are doing like this. So that is what is happening. So a day will come when all these questions will be answered. So this kind of things, this is not the first time it is happening. It happened many times. So when more horrifying things like this have happened, Srila Ramanuja Charya has come and he has re-established Hinduism. Because you are all kids, I don't know how far you people have seen the movie. What is that movie? Dasavatara by Kamal Hassan. The first scene is in that Kamal Hassan plays 10 roles. So the first role what he acts was as a Vaishnava, where the king was a Saiva, a devotee of Lord Shiva, and he forces everybody to convert to Saivism. So some true Vaishnavas, they don't agree. When they don't agree, they by force change them. And when they force them also, they don't change. They used to kill. So in that movie, we have seen what they do is they take the body of Kamal Hassan and ties it to the body of Lord Vishnu and then puts him into the ocean. So that kind of things, we think, oh, these are all the scenes in the movie. But no, those kind of things really happen. So much of, like within Hindus, Saivas, Vaishnavas, things have happened. And also a lot of people from other countries like Muslims and Christians have come, mostly Muslims, those who have by force converted all the, and Jainism also, Buddhism, Jainism, all things have converted people into their religion. And also what they used to do is they used to first convert the kings. So when the king is converted, automatically the all the people in the kingdom changes. And it was when compared to today's position, the situation in 11th and 12th century was very horrible. Very horrible means very horrible. Like, to give you an example, there was a king by name Kulottama Chola from Tamil Nadu. He was a devotee of Lord Krishna, Shiva. When I say devotee, Krishna comes to my mouth. Okay, he was a devotee of Lord Shiva. So there is a temple there in. There's a temple in not Guruvayur. What place is that? Chidambaram. There's a temple in Chidambaram where the best example is how cruel they were. We can get from this example. The temple was. The story behind the temple is, once Lord Shiva and Parvati had a quarrel. They had a quarrel, and then what the quarrel was that do you dance better or do I dance better? So whom do they go? They respect Lord Vishnu, who is none other but Krishna. So they went to Lord Vishnu, and then they asked Lord Vishnu who is doing a better dance. Then Lord Vishnu says, okay, you do dance, I'll tell. So what happened next is a different story. So the temple there, what is there in the temple is, on one side Lord Vishnu will be lying like this and watching, and so just before his eyes, Lord Shiva and Parvati will be dancing. So when Vishnu lies down and sits like this, so Shiva and Parvati will be on towards his legs. So this king is so mad after Lord Shiva. He says, what is this? Vishnu has insulted my Shiva. So by putting his legs on towards the Shiva, so he has to be punished. And so what he has done is he has uprooted the Vishnu's idol, which is in the position of lying down, and kept it in front of Shiva's idol. So he has put it there, and those who want to go and visit Shiva, they have to step on Lord Vishnu put their step on Lord Vishnu, and only then they can reach Lord Shiva. So they were so cruel. They were so cruel those days. So that is how it was happening. So the situation was very bad. So that is the time when Ramanuja was born, and he re-established the Hinduism in the right direction. So the first question here, what to understand about Ramanuja, I have to tell you one thing. We have 4 sampradayas. One is all the 4 have come from Krishna. All 4 are equal. Or one sampradaya is Rudra Sampradaya, for whom Lord Shiva is the Acharya. Acharya is from Krishna, it has come to Shiva. From Shiva, the main Acharya is Vishnu Swami. And the next one is Kumara Sampradaya, where the 4 Kumaras of Brahma, this Sampradaya has come from there. And the Acharya is Nimbarka Acharya. And the third one is Sri Sampradaya. From Vishnu, it has come to Lakshmi. And from Lakshmi, it is Sripada Ramanuja has established this. So it is he is one of the main Acharya of Sri Sampradaya, which is a Vaishnava Sampradaya. And the fourth one is Brahma Sampradaya, which has come from Krishna to Brahma, from Brahma. So Madhvacharya is the main Acharya. So all these 4. Then the first question is everybody will ask is, why 4 sampradayas? For various reasons it has come, but it is explained that these 4, see, suppose we are in a dark well. Definitely we are in a dark well. Living in this world itself is like, material world itself is like living in a dark well inside. So we all are trying to come out of the well. How do we come out of the well? We need some support. So we need a rope to come out of the well. So the rope, we have got 4 ropes. That means all 4 ropes are equal. We can catch any rope and then climb up the out. So that way these 4 sampradayas. And for one of the sampradaya, Sripada Ramanuja is the main Acharya. Okay, and this is our Prabhupada also very much appreciates Srimad Ramanujacharya. He appreciates all the gurus. There is nothing like appreciating one and not appreciating 2. See, once one devotee asked Sri Prabhupada, asking, first Prabhupada has translated Bhagavad Gita, and then he was translating Bhagavatam. Unfortunately, he left his body before completing Bhagavatam, but nobody will think that he will leave, no? So one devotee asked, Swami, after finishing Bhagavatam, what are you going to write again? Then he said, I am going to write Bhagavad Gita. Then he asked, why? You have already written Bhagavad Gita. Then he said, no, I have written some commentaries, but now some years have passed, no? So he has upgraded his knowledge. He says, there are many great acharyas who have written great, beautiful commentaries like Ramanuja Charya. So he said, so he gave so much of importance to Ramanuja. So that way, he is a man to be respected. And then why these acharyas come with different concepts? Like now we know, I think I have told you, once this Brahmanism has become very harsh in India, when Krishna wanted to re-establish the right Hinduism. So what he has done is, the first Buddha has come. And then when Buddha has come, what did Buddha do? Buddha said, no God, no ahimsa. Because Brahmins were doing too much of sacrifices. The sacrifices by way of yajnas, which our scriptures doesn't talk about sacrificing animals for devotion. So that way, to undo it, Buddha was born and he has established ahimsa. Then later, now no God. So, but God has to be established. Then Srimad Shankaracharya has come saying, Aham Brahmasya. That means we are the gods. Then later, all these acharyas come. That way, slowly, one step by step, it was re-established. So that way, Ramanujacharya has also re-established. He was born in 11th century. This 11th and 12th century, the situation was very horrible. And many horrifying things have happened. Temples were destroyed. Forcibly, people were converted into various either Shaivas or Muslims and things like that. And converting, and the rulers were converted, everybody converted. So it was happening that way. Okay. So, and the main thing that those days Brahmin have propagated was untouchability. And this is like a lot of people are graded as untouchable people, and they were not allowed into the temples. So that is where the difference comes. What happens when I am not, when I am look differently, what will I do to feel? If I'm a part of Hindu, if I'm not entered into the Hindu temple, how can I be called a temple? I mean, Hindu. Let me go into some other tradition. That's how anybody will think. That's how a lot of people have gone to others, and also, which is wrong. Again, ladies also were not allowed to do puja. Even they were not allowed to do things like Vishnu Sahasranamam, Gayatri Namam. All these ladies were not allowed to do. A lot of discrimination was there. So looking all this, Nagendra. Nagendra is the snake on which Vishnu lies. He is the greatest devotee of Vishnu. He feels very bad and then asks Vishnu, what is this? It's happening. Please give me permission. I will go to the Bhuloka and re-establish religion again. Then Vishnu laughs and says, it's not that easy. As a snake, you cannot do all this. Then Nagendra says, no, I will not go as a snake. I will go in the form of a human being only and try to change. And Vishnu says, no, actually, I went in Ramayana during Ramayana Mahabharata. I could not change anybody. I have only killed people. I have not changed. But Nagendra says, no, not like that. I will be there for 200 years and suddenly I will change the hearts of people and I will take birth as a human being. And that's where he was born as Srimad Bhagavat Ramanuja Charya Swami. He became a human being, but with the powers of Nagendra. He was born in 10,017 AD. His mother was Kantimati Devi and father was Kesava Somayajulu. And they have daughters but no sons. So as they wanted sons, they performed Putra Kameshtu Yajna. That is yajna which they do for having sons for 41 days in Parthasarathi temple in Triplicane. Triplicane is in Chennai. And so Parthasarathi temple is one of the 108 Divya Kshetras. What are these Divya Kshetras? There are 12 alvas. That means alvas means the greatest devotees of Lord Krishna. I think Narada is also one amongst them. That kind of alvas, they have visited very sacred temples and they have sung great songs on Lord Vishnu Krishna when those temples are called Divya Kshetras. So this Parthasarathi temple in Triplicane is also one amongst them. And to tell you, we talked about this Ramanujacharya statue in Hyderabad. No? When the statue is in the center, a big statue, around the statue, all these 108 temples are constructed. And it is done very beautifully. It's a replica of the actual temple. They say 108, most of them are in Tamil Nadu, 2 to 3 are in Andhra Pradesh, and some in Karnataka, and 2 to 3 are in the northern side of India. They say only 106 are on this world, and 2 temples are in the other planets. So all these 108 temples, as per the scriptures, are duplicated around this Ramanujacharya statue. So when we enter the temple, what happens is a recording is given where it is the background of the temple, what the temple is, the importance of the temple, all those things are will be repeating, so that when we go there, we need not ask who is this God, what is the importance of this God, and things like that. So this 108, one of these 108 temples, the mother and father did Putra Kameshtu Yoga for 40 days. And then that night, Lord Krishna comes in their dream. And when they ask, what do you want? She says, I want a son like you. So Krishna laughs and says, a son like me? A son like, there is nobody like me. If you want somebody like me, it is only me that has to come. And so he says, okay, you will have a son with all my divine qualities. Then for them, Ramanuja was came. So this man was born with seven divine qualities. One is the Amsa, the aspect of born with Swamsa. Then another one is Purna Amsa, that is total Adisesha Amsa. And then Lord Vishnu's Amsa, and then Pancha Aidas, the 5 Aidas which Vishnu holds, like the Sudarshan Chakra, the Panchajanya, all those 5 Aidas. These 5 are the Amsas with the divine qualities of Srimad Ramanujacharya. Even the day when Ramanujacharya was born, that was the day when Sri Adi Shankaracharya was also born. When he was born, Akashvani, there was a great sound which has come saying Dhir Labdaha, Dhir Labdaha, Dhir Labdaha, which 3 times, which means a Mahaniya is born. And so he was born. Then he had an uncle means mother's brother. He is a sannyasi, a great devotee. His name was Tirumal Nambi. His name was Tirumal Nambi. He was a great devotee. He comes to see his sister's son. And when he takes the baby into the hands, he remembered Lakshmana. Who is Lakshmana? Lakshmana is the younger brother of Rama, and he is also a Amsa of Nagendra. Nagaseshan. So that means this man with his divine qualities could identify that he is none other than Nagendra. So he named him as Ramanuja. Ramanuja. That means the younger brother of Ramanuja is Lakshmana. So Ramanuja means the younger brother of Rama. So from the childhood, Ramanuja was in search of a guru. So we always talk saying that we should have gurus, and that is the most important thing in life. So this man from his childhood was in search of gurus. So was in search of, and he was taught, he was placed at various gurus, and whatever a normal child would take 10 years to learn, he used to learn in 6 months. That way, every 6 months, he used to keep changing a guru. So his father identified great qualities and great knowledge in him. So his father got afraid that because of his great knowledge, maybe he will become a sannyasi. Because he didn't want him to become a sannyasi, he got him married at the age of 13. And then, but immediately, unfortunately, his father passed away at the age of 16, and he has to take the burden of a family with 4 members, that is his wife, his mother, and 2 younger sisters. Then, but then, even then, he was in search of guru only. Then he comes to know that there is a guru by name Yadava Prakashilu, and then, but he is from which Sampradaya? He is from Advaita Sampradaya. Advaita Sampradaya is a Sampradaya followed by Lord Shankaracharya. He goes and goes to him, and he shifts his family to his guru's place. But there at that place there was a temple by name Vijay Raghava Perumal. It is one of the, again, this is also one of the 108 Divya Kshetras. This is where Rama has given moksha to Jatayu. All of you know this story, no? When Ravana was taking away Jatayu, Sita, Jatayu fights in between and he will be killed. But then he really does a ferocious fighting. So Jatayu, that is the place when Rama has buried Jatayu and then does karma khanda to him. And so there the statue of Rama will be with a bird in the hand. So there he has learned all his education. Very soon, this Guru Yadav Prakashilu, he understands one thing, that Ramanuja is more intelligent than him, and then his knowledge is very less. So he gets very upset. But Ramanuja was very obedient to him. But then this man keeps insulting Ramanuja very badly. How does he insult? He doesn't say anything to Ramanuja. Because he is a devotee of Vishnu, he keeps criticizing Vishnu. That is very common, no? We like somebody, if somebody talks bad about them without unnecessarily, definitely we get upset, we feel bad. So this man was feeling bad. So how he was doing it, once he asked Ramanuja to do massage to him. So Ramanuja happily starts doing massage. Then while doing massage, Ramanuja did not want to waste his time. So he tells his guru to keep him teaching. Swami, I'll then do this massage. You please teach me something. When he is teaching, he says a sloka from Upanishads. The sloka says, Tasya yadha kapyasam pundarikam eva akshite. And then the guru gives a meaning that Lord Vishnu's eyes are lotus petals. Those lotus petals are just like the back of a monkey. If you have seen the back of big monkeys, the backside, the butt of a monkey will be very red. But even though Vishnu's eyes are like lotus flowers and red, he should not compare it with the back of a butt of a monkey. So this man feels very bad. How can this man compare Vishnu's eyes with this kind of thing? And then what he does is, he feels so bad, and then because of the anger and sorrowfulness, tears will start flowing, and the tears fall on the guru's body. The tears are so hot, the guru realizes and said, what is it you are doing? Why are you crying? Then he says, Swami, whatever explanation you have given may not be correct. Then he says, okay, then you give an explanation, different explanation. What else can be given? This is the meaning it is. And then he says, kapyasam. Kapyasam is kapi plus pyasam. Means kapi means it's not only monkey. It can be taken kapi, ka plus pi, that is sun and water. So we can take it something like this water, something comes out of the water, or we can take it as the sun. And what comes out of the water is the lotus stem, or like the morning sun. So we can always say that because of the lotus morning sun, the flowers, the lotus which bloom, or something like that. He says the glow of the lotus stack due to the sun is what is embodied in Lord Narayana's eyes. That means it can be either compared with the glow of a sun, it can be compared with the lotus, but it should not be compared with the butt of a monkey. So this way he used to correct his guru. So everybody sitting there appreciated him. So his guru is more upset. Hey, if I leave this man like this, one day he will become more knowledgeable, he will become a bigger guru, and then my position will be lost. So he feels very jealous of him. So meanwhile, what happened is, in Kanchipuram, king has a daughter who was attacked by Brahma Rakshasi. Like these days also we say but in the end now we go to psychiatrist. Those days, like it's like Brahma Rakshasi. So these pujaris used to go and the belief what we have is that a person who commits suicide or who dies without unfulfilled desires, they go and catch hold of certain people who have got weak mind. So only very religious people and godly people can rectify that. So somebody told the king that Yadav Prakashalu, the guru of Ramanuja, can rectify her. So Yadav Prakashalu goes there along with all his students. Then he does a lot of puja, he sprinkles water on her, nothing happens. Then the demon inside that lady's body, she says, what is this? I am also a devotee like you. What you know is nothing before me. I know what all you are saying. So you can never get me released. Because the demon also in the body wants to get relieved and go back to Goloka. So it also looks for an opportunity for a godly person to come and touch. So then everybody asks, how to do it? Then the demon says, see, behind this guru, there is a boy standing. So let him come and put his leg on my head. The moment he puts his leg on my head, I will leave this body. Then because we always say we should not, when we go and touch somebody's legs, all our sins will be taken away by them. That's why normally a lot of people don't allow us to touch their legs. Only the parents allow children to touch their legs, because the parents are always ready to take the sins of their children. So here the Brahma Rakshasi says, let that man come and put his leg on my head. So Ramanuja asks for his guru's permission. The guru gives permission, and then he goes and does. Immediately the Brahma Rakshasi leaves the body. So the king tries to felicitate Ramanuja. He says, no, don't felicitate me. These are all what I have learned from my guru. So Yadav Prakashlu. So all the credit goes to him only. Whatever you want to do. So that way the king felicitates his guru Ramanuja Yadav Prakashlu and gives him lot of gifts and sends him. But within heart, the guru feels very, uncomfortable. This man is becoming very great. Huh? And then one day he will overtake me. So one day, so what he thinks is, okay, the only way to get rid of this man is I have to kill him. So he decides to kill him. So if he kills him in Kanchipuram, everybody knows him. So everybody will find fault with him. So what he did is, he asks him to, okay, let us all go to Kasi. So all of them with other students, they all leave for Kasi. Then in the same group, Ramanuja's cousin is also there. So that cousin, one day, while traveling, they travel for quite some time because they have to go from South India to North India. That is, Kasi is on the other end. So they'll be walking for months together. So after going long way, one day Ramanuja's cousin, he overhears the guru and the other students murmuring, saying that, okay, we have come quite far away from the Kanchipuram. Now we are in the thick forest. So we'll kill Ramanuja tonight here. So when he hears that, he gets frightened. And then immediately he goes to his brother Ramanuja and says, Anna, this is what is being happened. So tonight they're going to kill you. You better run away. So Ramanuja says, okay, if it is my guru who wants to kill me, okay, let him kill. What do I lose? If that is the desire of my guru, let him kill me. I don't mind dying. So then his brother says, no, Anna, it is not. Somehow he wants to save his brother. So he says, no, Anna, it's not like that. If your guru kills you, he will get papa. If he gets papam, that is Brahmahatya dosham, you are a Brahmin. And if he kills you, he will get Brahmahatya dosham. And so that he will go to Narkam. So then Ramanuja says, oh no, for my sake, my guru should not go to Narkam. And then he lives in the thick forest. So, and after going to the forest, he was quite young by then. He must be around 16, 17 years. He gets frightened. And then he starts praying to Sri Varadaraja Swami because he was his, family god. So he keeps praying to Varadaraja Swami to save him. So, and keeps traveling. Then suddenly a couple comes across and they asks him, who are you? What do you want? He says, I am lost in the forest. Somebody, I want some help. Then that lady, she gives him a lot of fruits, honey, and then a lot of protection, lot of love, and then takes care of him. And then she laughingly says, why don't you tell me the stories of Lakshmana? Then he innocently shares all the stories of Lakshmana. And then that night they sleep there. After in the sleep, he just overhears both of them speaking. That lady asks her husband, why don't you get me some water? That man says, it's very dark outside, tomorrow morning we'll see. So in the sleep, he listens. And then the time he got up, they won't be there. Then he thinks, oh, they must have gone for water. And then he just walks a little and then sees a lake and some people going around. Then he goes and asks them, I want to go back to Kanchipuram. How do I go? Then those people laugh at him and say, well, where do you think you are? You are already in Kanchipuram. That is the temple you are seeing. Then he understands, while going, I walked for so many months. And then within one night, I am back. That means the couple with whom I have spent yesterday are none other than Sita and Rama. And then he feels very bad. Lord Sita, Amma, Sita has asked for water. I could not give water. Then from there, for all the time, as long as in Kanchipuram, there was a temple which is 8 kilometers away from temple, Varadaraj Swami temple. Every day he used to go to that lake and then take 2 buckets of water and then bring it and then give Lord Sita every day water. So that way, even now the well is preserved like that only. Okay, then his guru goes to Kanchipura, and then his guru the next day morning when he doesn't see Ramanujulu, he inquires, where is Ramanujulu? Everybody says we don't know. Then his guru thinks, okay, he went into the forest and then he must have been eaten away by some animals, and so he is very happy. Because he wanted to kill, he himself got killed. So he feels, okay, I'm very happy. They go to Kasi and then they come back. And when they come back to Kanchipura, they see Ramanujulu here. Even though Ramanujulu knew that his guru was planned to kill him, he doesn't say anything. He normally continues his education with his guru. After some days, the guru finally accepts that Ramanujulu is a far superior person than him, and then politely, in a good tone only, advises him, saying that no, not here. With me, there's nothing for you to learn. So there is one more guru who can impact knowledge to him. His name is Brahma. He will tell you Brahma Jnanam. His name is Yadav Prakashalu. And you go and become his disciple. And so Ramanujulu leaves. And at the age of 32, when Ramanujulu takes sannyasam, now he was about just 20 or so, the guru who tried to kill him becomes his devotee. I mean, he's one of his followers. So he goes to Yadav Prakashalu. Yadav Prakashalu is a Vaisya by birth, and whereas Ramanujulu is a Brahmin by birth. But Yadav Prakashalu was a very hard devotee, a devotee of Vishnu. When his father gives him money to do do business, he donates all the money to temple, saying that I have saved the money with Lord Vishnu. He will give us back when required. So Ramanujulu approached Yadav Prakashalu. No, not Yadav Prakashalu, sorry. Yadav Prakashalu was his old guru. Now this man's name is Kanchipurnalu. Kanchipurnalu said, no, you are a Brahmin, I am a Vaisya. How can I teach you? And more than that, I heard about you. You are a very knowledgeable person. But this Kanchipurnalu is such a great devotee that he keeps talking to God, Varadaraja Swami in the temple in Kanchi. He keeps daily, he talks, and then Varadaraja Swami responds to him. So Ramanuja says, you are such a devotee that God talks to you directly. So how can, just by birth being a Brahmin, how can I be more greater than you? So he agrees. And then Kanchipurnalu has a small flower garden, which every day Kanchipurnalu offers to Varadaraja Swami. And so this man keeps working in the temple there. So every time when Ramanuja has a doubt, Ramanuja Charya has a doubt, his guru Kanchipurnalu, and in turn Kanchipurnalu goes and asks Varadaraja Swami, and Varadaraja Swami used to reply. And one of the major doubt what Ramanuja Charya got was, suppose a devotee worshipped Lord all his life, and for whatever bad luck, at the age of when he was dying, if he forgets Lord Krishna, what will happen? Then Lord replies saying that, don't worry, that is my problem. In case it happens, I will make sure that he remembers me somehow. So that kind of answers also he used to get. And now when it comes to Ramanuja's wife, her name is Tanjamamba. She is a very mean-minded person. Like, she believed whatever wrong concepts, and she's a proud lady that they are Brahmins. And she believed that only important thing is serving husband. She doesn't respect her husband's words. She only serves her husband. And so this man, Kanchipurnalu, is, as he is a Vaisya, this lady is very upset that he is serving a Vaisya. Being a Brahmin, how can you go and serve a Vaisya? But she could not do anything because that's what her husband is doing. Okay, and So another question what Ramanuja asked his guru is to find out from Varadaraja Swami how he can attain moksha. Then this man says, no, today actually I spoke to Varadaraja Swami. He says, you are in the right direction, don't go. Okay. So actually, when this is in the 11th century, after the 14th day of Kali Yuga, a great soul, Namma Ajwal, Azwar, something, sorry, I'm not pronouncing. A great soul was born. And then he lived for a very short period of 32 years. He is one of the Alvars. So he left his body when he was 32 years. And so his disciples, they feel very bad. Swami, you have not told us anything. You are leaving the body. How can Hinduism be established in Kali Yuga? Then he says, don't. Then he gives them a small idol of Ramanuja and says, this man is going to come after 4,000 years. When he comes after 4,000 years, he is the one who is going to establish the Vaishnava Sampradaya. And so please wait for him. And so he says and gives that idol to his disciples and then leaves his body. So this man is such a great man. So whenever these Vaishnavas, they do Guru Parampara, the way we do prayers, what they do is Narayana Samarambham, Nada Yamana Madhyamam, Asmad Acharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. That means they praise Narada Muni first, then Yamanacharya. So these people are so great. Okay. And then, so this Yamanacharya, who he is, okay, I didn't tell you who this Yamanacharya is, no? So he is one more devotee of Vishnu who is already in his last stages. So when he is in the last stages, so he will be worried, I am also leaving my body. Till now, a real devotee has not come who would re-establish Hinduism. So when he was feeling bad like that, suddenly he remembers the idol which was given 4,000 years back. So immediately what he does is he takes that idol and shows it to all his students and says, you go. Now that 4,000 years are over, now that man must have been born somewhere. So go in search of him, look for a man who looks very similar to this. And so, and then he says, bring him back before I die. So one of his disciples called Mahapurnulu locates Ramanujacharya. And that time when Ramanuja, and then this man says, Yamanacharya says, if Ramanujacharya doesn't come, you please tell one sloka. That sloka talks about Atmajnanam. So this Mahapurnulu goes and locates Ramanujacharya and then asks Ramanujacharya to come. He refuses. Then he gives that, tells the sloka. Immediately Ramanujacharya leaves everything and says, oh, you are the greatest guru. You are talking about Atmajnanam. Then he says, no, this sloka is not by me. It is by my guru Yamanacharya. So he says, okay, immediately show me the Yamanacharya. So immediately they rush to the Yamanacharya. So what happens is on the way, after reaching the place, he goes and then takes a bath in the Yamuna river and then goes to him at the Srirangam. So by the time he goes there, that is, he was already an old man, no? So just before they left, he leaves his body. So then this man cries very badly. Finally, I located my guru, and before he talked to me, he died. Now, how do I get the blessings of my guru? So when he looks at the body of the guru, when normally hands are like, fingers are like this, no? 3 fingers will be closed like this. So then Ramanujacharya asks, why come these 3 fingers are closed? Then nobody knows why the 3 fingers are closed. Then one devotee says, no, the reason is simple. He was always saying, I have got 3 unfulfilled desires. So maybe because he has those 3 unfulfilled desires, his 3 fingers are crossed. Then Ramanujacharya sits and meditates on his guru, saying, please tell me what your unfulfilled desires are. Then he gets the message. Then the first one is to write the meaning of Brahma Sutras as per the Vaishnava Sampradayas. They're all scriptures. So he is asked to do it. Then when he says that, immediately one finger opens. Amma, he is happy. Then the second one is to reinstall Narayana Divya Prabandhalu. There are also great scriptures. It signifies across whole humanity, which talks very high about the humanity. The second finger also opens. And the third finger is to propagate about the divine lives of Parasura, Vyasa, that means great people, Narayana, and knowledge, and give about Parasura, Vyasa, those great people who gave knowledge about Narayana. When he says the third one, all the five fingers open. So they do all the karmas, and then so now Ramanujacharya is very happy that he knows what he is supposed to do. Then for 60 years, he works a lot in Srirangam for the upliftment of the temple. So after that, he comes to Kanchipuram. That 60 years is later, but immediately after his guru has passed away, he comes back to Kanchipuram. And now he knows what his three goals are, and then he wants to work for them. But he doesn't know where those Brahma Sutras are. He doesn't know where those, he is asked to translate those scriptures, but he doesn't know where they are. And he is facing a lot of differences. His wife. That means his wife's concepts are different and his concepts are different. And she's very proud lady that she is a Vaishnava. And he treats all non-Vaishnavas. Once a beggar comes and says, Amma, I'm hungry for the last 4 days. Then she says, food is not yet cooked. Go. Then Ramanuja says, why are you talking like this? Food is already there. Then he says, no, first I have to offer to Lord, and then I have to serve you. Then only I can serve. How can I serve? Then he says, see, you must understand one thing, that you have to serve a hungry man. If you serve a hungry man, the food would have directly reached Lord Narayana. That means we should know. It is not the tradition what is important. First serve God, then serve husband, then serve. Serving a hungry man is more important. This kind of understanding Srimad Ramanuja had. He used to see Vishnu everywhere. And also what we are always told, eating the uchistam of a guru, that means engili, in Telugu we call engili, of a guru, that is the most auspicious thing for a Vaishnava. Here, what does mean uchistam means? It's not like that leftovers of, not from his plate. That means whatever is cooked, first it has to be served to them, and the leftovers have to be eaten by others. So now Ramanuja wanted to eat the uchistam of his guru, Kanchipuram. But Kanchipuram knows that he is a Vaisya and his wife won't agree to it. But somehow one day Ramanuja puts a lot of pressure on his wife and then convinces him to come and have lunch in his house. So he agrees. So the next day, unfortunately, what happens is the guru gets stuck somewhere. And so as it was getting late, Ramanuja goes in search of guru, whereas the guru comes in the other direction. And when he reaches the house, what happens is his wife, as her husband is not there, she's very happy. She doesn't allow the guru to enter the house. She serves him outside in the veranda, outside the house. And then she says, in a very unpolite way, she serves. And then after eating also, she says, you clear your own plate. Like when some guests come, that too, when a guru comes, we always do that on our own. We don't give that responsibility to anybody. And then she cleans all the vessels. And actually, why did Ramanujacharya do this? He wanted to eat the leftover of his guru. But what did this lady say do? She said, you throw your plate outside. And then whatever after that man has left, she cleans the whole house with water, and whatever food is left, she will take it and throw. She threw away all the food outside the compound, and she prepares again fresh food. Then Ramanuja feels very bad for all this. But what can he do? It is his wife, and then he has to put up with her. And then Then his guru also says, now that you have learned whatever you can learn from me, now you have to go to you have to take mantra diksha. And then he suggests one more guru by name Mahapurnulu. So while going, he goes to his guru Mahapurnulu and takes mantra diksha and brings his guru and his wife to his house. And then for 6 months, both of them stay in the house. Even though they are also Vaishnavas, his wife did not like that. And she used to ill-treat his guru's wife very badly. One day when Ramanuja Charya was out of station, she ill-treats her very badly in public. So her husband sees that, and then they say, okay, we'll leave the place, and then they leave the place. Then when Ramanujacharya comes, he understands what has happened, and he feels very bad. And when he feels very bad, and then he goes to Varadaraja Swami, and then he cries there, like Gajendra, how he has pleaded to Vishnu for moksha. He says, what is this, Swami? When will I get relief from this wife? So God finally listened to him. So once what happens is, his wife wanted to go for a marriage to her parents' house for 1 month. So this man says, okay, you go, I'll only come for 1 day. Then she gets very upset and say, you are not doing anything. Why don't you leave me and go and then take sannyasa? So he keeps waiting for this word. Unless the wives give permission, the husband cannot go and take sannyasa. So now that his wife, out of anger or whatever it is, she has given permission, and that was when he was 32 years. And then she leaves him and then goes and takes sannyasa. And from now, his Chaitra Yatra starts. And so there is one more devotee by name Kurtalwar. He is also actually, he is the incarnation of Lord. He is born with Lord Vishnu's Amsa. Why he was born with Lord Vishnu's Amsa is, as Lakshmana Swami has done a lot of service to Rama, Vishnu wanted to reciprocate it. And in the next avatara, Krishna was born as the younger brother of Balarama, and when Krishna tries to serve Balarama comes to know that he is Nagendra and Krishna is Lord Vishnu. He refuses to take it. So in the next life, in Kali Yuga, as Ramanuja was born as Nagendra was born as Ramanuja, Vishnu's Amsa comes as Kurtalwar. He was a great devotee, and like he dedicated his life to Ramanuja. So he also moves to, all these people move to Srirangam and start serving Ranganatha Swami. By then, but Srirangam temple, a great temple, it was under the Dharmakarta. I think the caretaker of the temple is, he has got a lot of bad habits, but he has got certain beliefs also. So somehow this Ramanujacharya wanted to set it right. So what happens is, Kurtalwal understands his guru's ideas, and then he goes to once when a ritual was being done in Kurtalwal's, this man's house, he like Abdikam. Abdikam means a ritual which we do to the dead parents. So when he is going there, whatever these guests come, they have to be satisfied. That is when the disciple of Ramanujacharya goes there, and whatever this Dharmakarta says, he says, I am not satisfied, I am not satisfied, I am not satisfied. And finally, then this Dharmakarta says, what is that you want? Then he says, I want the post of your Dharmakarta. So just for the satisfaction of his parents, he gives the post, and then Ramanuja becomes the Dharmakarta of the temple and takes care of the temple for 20 years in a very good manner. Okay. And then even then Ramanuja was in search of moksha only. So in the next village there is a guru called Goshtapurnalu. Ramanuja wanted to understand the meaning of Tirumantra. That Tirumantra is the one which can give moksha to people. So he goes and asks that Goshtapurnalu to give him Tirumantra. So Goshtapurnalu every time, like this Tirumantra is not given that easily. Lot of tests are done, and then when they fulfill, when they are justified, that these people will really follow the rituals, then they will give. So like that. So what this man is, 17 times he makes him run around, saying one day, today is not a good day, today I am not in a mood, today I have some other work. That day 17 times Ramanuja runs around him, and then all the 17th time he gives him the Tirumantra. So Ramanuja was very happy. Now that I got this Tirumantra, I can get Kaivalyam, I can go back to God. So he feels very happy and comes out of the temple. When he comes out of the temple, this is from where his glories start. A lot of people will be outside the temple. They are all, some of them are ladies, some of them are from other castes. So when they are from other castes, what happens is, he gets, all of them says, Swami, did you get the Tirumantra? He says, yes, I got it. They say, you are born as a Vaishnava, you are a great man, you are a devotee, you got it. We won't get it because nobody will give us. Then, then this man gets very upset. He says, if this mantra has the capacity to take us to Goloka, why not I give it to everybody? And then what he does is, immediately he climbs up the temple, 3 floors temple, and from there he gives the mantra to everybody. Like, he ran around his guru for 17 times, and his guru has asked him not to reveal to everybody. He reveals it to everybody. Then his guru gets upset, and then he says, what is this you have done? By doing this, you are going to go to hell. Then Ramanuja Charya says, it's okay, Guru. If these thousands of people are going to go to heaven, it's okay if I go to hell. I'm ready to go to hell. I'll go to hell. Let them go to heaven. Then the Guru understands his mistake and says, I have seen God only in this mantra, but you have seen God in every living being. And he gives him the title of Emberu Mannar. Emberu Mannar means, which means, in Telugu, if you say Guru Minchani Sishyudu, that means a student who is more knowledgeable than the Guru. And Ramanuja's idol is still there in the temple where he has given the mantra to everybody. So from there, Srirangam, like, he has done a lot of improvements in the temple. So where the temple, the old pujaris, they get very upset with him and they wanted to kill him. So first they mix some poison in the tirtham which he takes every day. Because he is the Amsa of Nagendra, nothing happens. Then they wanted to kill him. So every day, because he is a sannyasi, he goes to some house and takes goes and then asks for food, and so somebody gives him food, they eat that food and then they survive. So one pujari's wife, who is a very devotee of Sri Ramanujacharya, every day used to give him food. So as this pujari knows that his wife give him food, what he does is, he mixes lot of poison in his food and then gives. And so the lady, they says, I won't serve. Then he says, as a husband, I am demanding you have to do it. Those days, the wife have no option to do whether good or bad. So what she does is, she goes and serves the food to him, and then she does namaskara to the Guru. Actually, the tradition, after serving food, if you put namaskara, it is to a sannyasi, it means telling the sannyasi not to eat the food. Then this man gets a doubt, this lady is so intelligent, very intelligent. Why did she give me namaskara? That means, why is she asking me to go on fast? He gets a doubt. Then he puts the food there and starts thinking about it. When he keeps doing like that, one crow comes and eats the food. And immediately it dies. Then he understands that there is poison in the food, and so he is not, and so he feels so bad. And from there, that day, he stops eating food. So his guru, Mahapurnulu, comes to know about it and comes to visit him. And Ramanujacharya goes to receive him in the hot sun. So when in the hot sun, Ramanujacharya tries to do Sastanga Pramanam on the road. So his disciple, one of the disciple called Kidambi Achan, who feels that his guru's body will get burned, then he just falls down on the ground, and on him Ramanuja falls like this. So he has got such a kind of a reliable disciples. Then Mahapurnulu sees this scene and says, "You are a real hardcore devotee of Ramanuja. So from today, you only cook for Ramanuja. Nobody else will cook from Ramanuja." And so from then he eats only his food. And then after that, Ramanuja does lot of preachings. He rectifies lot of temples, and then he goes to Kashmir. From Kashmir, he does the temple where Shankaracharya visited and wrote translations of Brahma Sutras. And he gets very great titles. Okay. And then from there he starts his tour, and then he lot of wrong things were happening in lot of Hindu temples, which he has rectified. So in Sri Kurmam, a place in Sri Kurmam, there is a Vishnu temple in the form of Kurmam. Kurmam means tortoise. So there is a Kurmam means tortoise, means it's almost like a Sivalinga. So that the king there said, this is a Shiva's temple, not a Vishnu's temple. You cannot do Vishnu Puja here. Then this man goes and explains all the scriptures. So they listen to all the scriptures, but then they say, okay, scriptures is fine, but you have to prove it. So what he does is, he goes there when the idol will be facing north. So this man goes and stands at the northeast. So he goes and stands on the western side and reads Korma Stotra, Kormanada Stotra. When he reads that, the Korma statue which is facing on the east turns totally to the west direction. That's how he proves that it is the Vishnu temple and not a Shiva temple. And similar things he has done in Tirumala temple also. In Tirumala temple also, those days there were a lot of confusion. Some say he is Venkateswara Swami, some say he is Shiva, some says he is he is Amavaru. So when there were a lot of confusion, he showed a lot of scriptures that it is Venkateswara Swami and not Shiva. Even then they wanted proofs. So what he has done is, that night there he has put Shanku Chakra and then Trishulam and Damarukam, which are there with the Shiva, and certain more things which are what Durga Mata uses. All those things he keeps inside the temple and locks the temple that night. So next morning when they got up, they see the Shanku Chakras on Venkateshwara's shoulders. That means Lord Venkateshwara has taken the Shanku Chakra and put them there. So so there he takes the help of one king, Yadava king. First he converts the Yadava king to Vaishnava, and then takes the help of Yadava king. And that day Lord Venkateshwara comes in the dream of one more guru and says, see, this man has been taking Samasrayam, means what? It means like they put Shanku and Chakra on the shoulders, and from that day we have to follow certain rituals. So here Lord Venkateswara says, this man has given me Samasraya. That means he is my guru. So, and then Lord Venkateshwara accepts Ramanuja as his guru. So if we go to Tirumala temple, when we see Tirumala temple, at the side where that undi is there, if you see Lord Ramanuja's idol is there, where the legs of Ramanuja comes to the height of Lord Venkateswara's chest. That means Lord Venkateswara is at the chest of, at the feet of Ramanuja. That is the way it was placed. So later Muslims have destroyed a lot of Govindaraj Swami's temple, which he re-establishes. This he has done in many Vaishnava temples. And when he goes to Jagannatha Swami temple in Puri, where a lot of pandas, out of lot of devotion, they do very good different rituals. So he goes and tells the pandas, no, don't do all that. This is the way it has to be done. But that night Vishnu comes in his dream and then scolds him. What is this you are doing? They are my devotees and they are doing out of their pleasure. Let them do whatever they want. You can't come and disturb them like this. Don't change all this. So whatever wrong things are happening, he rectified, and the things which are done out of devotion, Lord himself did not allow him to rectify. And then, okay. And there's a king by name Kulottunga Choludu. He is a king who is very strong devotee of Shiva, and who wanted to demolish all the Vaishnavas. So he keeps hearing about Ramanujacharya, and somehow he wanted to kill him. So he sends his soldiers saying, you go there and bring him here, and if he refuses to come, you tell him that I want to have a discussion with him, and if he can convince him, I'll change to Vaishnava. So thinking like that. So when their soldiers come there, his disciple Kuruvatwal comes to know about this. He knows about the king, and he knows about this soldiers also. So he and his guru, who has become his disciple Mahapurnulu, both of them they go in the disguise as Ramanujacharya. So his disciple says, I am Ramanujacharya, and goes to the king. And then in the discussion, they defeat the king. But when the defeat also, the king doesn't care, and he says, no, you have to change to Shaiva. So somebody comes and says, no, Prabhu, he is not Ramanujacharya, he is his disciple. Then this king gets angry, and then he pulls out the eyes of both of them, and then sends them back. And on the way back, this Mahapurnulu was by then itself 1 or 2 years old. He leaves his body. Whereas there's Kuruttalwal comes back to Srirangam, and he doesn't go and visit his guru. Because if he goes and visits his guru, and his guru comes to know that his eyes are plucked because of him, he feels very bad. So he doesn't go. Meanwhile, while going to the king itself, this man, what he does is, he tells the other disciples, you take him and go away from this place, because this king is so cruel, he will punish him. So all his other disciples takes him to Karnataka. On the forest, they meet some tribals, where those tribals also, when they come to know that these peoples are from Kanchipuram, Srirangam, they pray. Then they say, why are you doing all this? Then they say, there is a great saint there by name Ramanuja. He is such a great saint. You have walked on the same land. So we are praying him. Then the others say, he is none other but Ramanuja. So he gets all the respect from there. So from there, they go to Karnataka, Melkote. Melkote king, Karnataka, Bitti Deva. His name was Bitti Deva. And he was already converted to Jainism. As they have come long distance, they wanted to put this white Sindhura, white Namam, Tiruvanama, he doesn't have. Then Lord Vishnu comes in his dream and say, I am under that putta, that is snake's house. That Narayana temple for the statue. And in the temple, what they do is, he has given a lot of responsibility to the untouchables. And the untouchables do a lot of rituals there. That way, he never discriminated between untouchables and Brahmins. Brahma Rakshasi. And this man gets rid of that. And so that king becomes very happy and becomes a Vaishnava. But then, as he was a Jain, about 10,000 Jains come and get into an argument with him, and they lose. And so some of those Jains also get converted to Hindus. So after constructing the temple, one day what happens is, this king, this temple, whatever he was constructed, was called as Cheluva Narayana Swami temple, which is very famous for doing puja for parents who doesn't have children. Okay. And then the king, once located in his godown, he locates a golden crown of Lord Vishnu. Then they try to remember whose crown is this. Then one says that this is the crown of an Vishnu idol, which was in the temple, which the idol was taken away by the Nawab of Delhi, the Muslim king. So what he says is, okay, I'll get back our Narayana Vishnu, and he goes all the way to Delhi to bring the idol. So he goes and gets into discussion with that Nawab and defeats him. Not only the Nawab, and then lot of people come and they get into argument, and then he convinces them. And so the king becomes very happy, and then he says, what do you want? He says, I want my Narayana back. He says, okay, there are so many Narayanas around, but like they used to bring all the statues and put them as decorative pieces in their palaces. So he says, I want it. Then he says, you can take whichever you want. Then he sits there and starts meditating. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. Then what happens is the particular statue walks, just moves like that and comes and sits on his lap. And then he takes that Narayana idol and comes back. Unfortunately, what happens is that that idol was so beautiful that his the king's daughter loved the idol so much, and she falls in love with it, and she loves it as if it is her husband. And so after that idol was taken away, she feels bad. The king asks what happened. Then she says, I love that one, and that Narayana is my husband. Then the king says, okay, you go. And then she comes to this place, Melkot. But she was not allowed into the temple as she was a Muslim. And then she leaves the body outside the temple. Then Ramanuja Charya comes to know about this, and he feels bad, and then construct a temple for her in Melkot and names her as Bibi Nanchari. That means even a Muslim lady she respected, and as she loved Vishnu as her husband, she called he made her husband and then constructed a temple there in the temple. And then this Kulottama Chola, who was a very cruel king, who pulled away the eyes of that man, he was such a cruel king. So finally God punished him, and he got a cruel disease, because of which all his face became a wound, and worms used to keep coming out. And for 7 years he suffered like that and dies. And then after that man died, Ramanujacharya moves back to Srirangam. When he moves back to Srirangam, he meets his disciple. Then he meets his disciple whose eyes were cut off. And then he feels so sorry, saying that, Arey, what happened? Because of me, all these things has happened. And then he gives him a mantra and tells you, go into the temple of Vishnu and then pray this mantra, when you will get back your eyes. Then that man goes inside and prays and then comes back. But his eyes are not there. Then when he asks, why your eyes have not yet come? Did you not do the prayer? Did Vishnu not come? He says, no, I have done the prayer. Vishnu has come. But when Vishnu asks, what do you want? What I have asked is, see, I am becoming old. You are also becoming old. So one day we'll have to leave the body. When we leave the body, I want to leave the body before you. And I want to go to Vaikunta before you. And then set things right. So that is how his disciples were so loyal to him. They didn't even ask for his eyesight. Okay. So then he stays in Srirangam for 18 years. And once Vishnu himself comes in the form of a brahmachari and then meets Ramanjanayachari and inquires, and then says, see, Rama and Krishna could not change anybody. You are changing. Do you think you are greater than Rama and Krishna? Then he says, no, I am not doing anything. I am not greater than Rama, anybody. Only the power of changing is in the Narayana mantram, is in the Tirumantram, is in the mantram Om Namo Narayanaya. The Brahmachari requests for the Tirumantam. So the next day he gives him the Tirumantam. And then after giving the Tirumantam, the Brahmachari leaves. Then the next day Vishnu comes in his dream and reveals that it was yesterday you have given that Tirumantam only to me. And so now I am your disciple. Then gives him a name called Udaya Uddayavar, which means a guru in all the worlds. That means he has become the guru of Vishnu. That means he is the guru of all the worlds. Then he feels so bad. Are you have come, I could not recognize. What is this? I am here. I want to come back to you. And by then Ramanuja Charya was 120 years of age. So he wanted to leave his body. Then what happens is, then when he wanted to leave the body, when he was born, the Akashvani said, Dhir Labdaha, Dhir Labdaha. That means a great man is born. Now when he was leaving his body, Akashvani again said, Dharmo Nastaha. Dharma means the dharma will get destroyed. Dharmo Nastaha 3 times. Okay, and then he goes and sits in a temple and then leaves his body. He simply leaves his body. Then that day, Lord Vishnu comes in the dreams of pujaris and says, his body is not an ordinary body. The body is himself. That means, study this, saying that I means it is not Padmavati. I means it is the soul inside this body. But here, the Vishnu has come into the pujaris and said, he is no different from his body. The body itself is the soul. So you please preserve the body. So on his instructions, the body is preserved. And so every year, the body sitting in this sitting position, now he was born 1000 years back and he lived for 100 years. Now 900 years back, he left his body. And even today, believe me, even today, the body is there. The body, which normally will get rotten within hours, his body is still there like that in the temple. Any one of us going to Srirangam can see his body. Like they don't do any like this mummies and other things. What this where is that are preserved in that pyramids, Egyptians, they do a lot of processing. Here nothing is there. They just apply karpuram and kumkum puvu, saffron, yeah. And every year they just make it paste out of it and apply. So his body is red. Even now, if we just type in the net saying that the body of Sri Ramanujacharya, you can see the body. And if you go and touch it, it seems it is soft. And then when you just give Harati also, the eyes, the glow in the eyes can be seen. The nails also can be very clearly seen that they are human nails. From this itself, I just could not digest it. A body is still there from 1000 years. I just can't understand this. That means his body, the moment our Atma, our soul leaves the body, this body gets rotten. But because his soul and his body are not different, he is still there. The body is still there in Srinagar. Then the doubt we have is initially he said 200 years I am going to live, but he left at 120. That is later, after some years, after 200 years again, Muslims came and destroyed Srirangam temple when again he was born as Malvala Mahamuni, who lived for 80 years and he re-established. Before leaving his body, he gave 3 important instructions to his disciples. The first one is always stay united. That means don't fight within yourself. You can express your love for me by way of your cooperating with you and yourself. That means I say I am Vaishnava, you say you are Shiva, you say something, and that is the way, that is very wrong. When 2 people, we know the story of a monkey and what do you call that? Monkey and 2 cats. They get a bread and then they break it into 2. It doesn't tear exactly. They keep fighting. But the monkey comes, okay, this piece is big, so you cut that extra piece, I will eat. And they give it. Then they say, no, the other piece has become, she takes 1 more piece from this and eats. That way, to just saying that I want to balance between these 2 pieces, it eats away all the total roti. That way it is happening. If we are not united, if you say you are that, I am this, you are that, I am this, meanwhile somebody else will come and take over. You are there, no, I am also not there. And then he says, always serve the spiritual guru, all Vaishnavas, with humility and love. We always talk about it. We should do it out of love and humility. Never be arrogant with your guru. We have seen now in this story, when his guru tried to kill him also, he was ready. And then he says, study the scriptures and always chant the holy name of God with love, faith, and devotion. So even this man has said the same thing. Chant the name of God, because the truth of the way one can reach God in Kali Yuga is only by chanting holy name, not by doing anything. So he also said, chant the name of holy God with faith. So this is what is about Srimad Ramanujalu. So let us say Srimad Ramanujalu ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. So as he said, always chant the holy name. Om Namo Narayanaya. Or Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Actually, this is a very big story. So I had to go very fast. I don't know how many of you